what really motivated me to go into medicine was time spent international working in sub-Saharan Africa, and I really wanted the opportunity to spend a little time going back there, both physically and also just in my kind of interests and scholarly pursuits. So it was really the opportunity to have focused time to be abroad for a little bit and spend time thinking about problems that are important in that part of the world. Residency's busy, and being on call all the time, getting calls and pages, it's easy to kind of lose sight of your trajectory. And so I think for me, it was the opportunity to be engaged with something that I found really meaningful, something that was the initial impetus that drove me to go into medicine in the first place. Reconnecting with that part of me was, I think, very, very important. And then just the opportunity to spend a little time kind of away from the everyday demands, and to reflect on, I think, what was most important and what kinds of problems I like to solve, what kinds of questions I like to think about, and to have mentors who kind of helped me sort through that and how that fit into a larger career trajectory was the most meaningful part for me. Greatly improved it. I think being able to step away for a few months helped me kind of treasure the clinical experience I was getting here. It also helped guide me a little bit. It helped me figure out what fellowship I wanted to do, what kind of doctor I wanted to be, what kind of questions I want to ask as a researcher later on. It was a big reason why I went into pulmonary and critical care medicine, actually. And it also helped me kind of lay some of the groundwork for future research work. So I'm a clinical fellow here now. I'll be doing research in a few years, and anticipate doing research with the same organizations and some of the same people that I really spent a lot of time working with in the pathway. Well, first, it just helped show me, again, just what I like, kind of the questions I like asking, the problems I like solving. It helped me interact with folks who are living the kinds of professional lives that I honestly want to live, and both seeing that it's possible and is inspiring, but also just kind of seeing the fundamentals, the nuts and bolts, how they send their kids to school, how they keep in touch with their family, the things that no one ever teaches you, but are important to kind of building a career that's a little less conventional. I honestly think it just helped kind of ground me as a resident. I think it's easy to get caught up with the day in and day out in the hospital, and reconnecting with that part of me at a time when you're in your second year of residency. For me, my kind of largest amount of time I spent with a pathway was 2 months in my second year, and that's really when you're getting letters of recommendation, thinking about what you're going to do after residency. And the opportunity to just kind of gather myself, center myself, spend a lot of time with mentors who really cared about me, just think about what kind of person I wanted to be after I was finished was just made a huge difference. So there are a few things I would say. First, there's no downside to doing the pathway. I think it's all kind of value added to your residency experience. I think it helps you. Hopkins is a really incredible place. There are just so many great people here. It can sometimes be hard to find the people that you want to work with, and just kind of sitting down and talking to them can be a little intimidating. And I think the pathway just helps create those linkages in a really natural way. You have your pathway directors who are involved, connecting you with people you want to work with, and it makes it more natural to find these connections that in a big place like Hopkins can be hard to find. I think that it, similar to that, there's a lot of flexibility in what you do. There's also a lot of relying on your own creativity, your own kind of inspiration and work ethic. And it's not the kind of program where you want where you can expect everything to be kind of laid out in front of you. You have to kind of come here, build some mentorship relationships, propose your own project. It is it's kind of built upon the individual's initiative. And so if you're the kind of person who wants to work with great people, have a little flexibility in the kinds of questions you ask and the kind of experience you have, I think it's absolutely perfect. And again, I think being in a place like Hopkins, where you just have such amazing people doing just really interesting work in so many different fields, the pathway helps kind of build those linkages between people that when you're a resident without natural connections to these mentors, it can be hard to make those.